Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another night of Nemesis Gaming League action. For the first matchup, we got Diversion going off against Pinnacle here, and I'm joined once again with Jaegers. How we doing, Jaegers?
Bagels, I'm doing pretty fantastic. Just ready for some Wednesday night Rocket League. We got one here, Bagels. Diversion versus Pinnacle should be a good matchup. Pinnacle, I believe, are 7-4 versus Diversion 3-8. Still plenty of time to turn their season around. However, it's gonna be tough against this Pinnacle roster.
Yeah, I don't by the looks of the lobby here, Jaegers, I don't know how many times this is going to happen to us. I think we've casted a Titan matchup twice now,
hmm
and, you know, they just got to throw the sub in. Not even the sub in. The sub from the lower leagues. I don't even know what league Bmar is in. I think he's in Challenger. So Diversion's gonna have the cards stacked against him here.
Well, Bagels, you have to remember though, Pinnacle did win with the novice sub up once, so I mean anything's possible. And it looks like someone just left the lobby and Zap did join in his place. So it looks like two rivals are going to be playing this Titan matchup against. I believe this is a fully starting Pinnacle roster, and if you look at the surveys, Pinnacle was picked 74-13 to win this by the Discord members.
Yeah, I would have to agree with them for the most part. I mean, even if it was the full rosters going at it, I mean, Deluxe and Insanity is a very much a dynamic duo, and apparently through the grapevine, I've heard that Edwin hasn't even been playing in about half of the matchups. So when Edwin has been playing, a Pinnacle team has looked very good, and definitely deserve where they are in the standings as of right now. I believe they're sitting at the around the 5 or 6 spot for the seeding. And that was one of those teams that I thought was going to be top 4 teams in the beginning of the season. Um, but they haven't really shown up super spectacular yet, but still doing pretty solid so far this season. But I don't know, Jaegers. I don't. It's a diversion. I mean, the Reapers won with a challenger sub too, so I don't know. Anything's possible, but I don't know.
Well, you see, Bagels, another thing going against Diversion is they have never beaten this Pinnacle team ever. Pinnacle is 5-0 against them. And I mean, I don't want to just throw in the death knell now, but I mean, I don't think they're going to do it with two rival sub ups. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, we will have to see as right off the bat. What we will see is Edwin getting a kickoff goal. As not quite sure if he's just faster.
Maybe Zap was just looking at his phone, wasn't ready for the start off. He looks like he lagged. But regardless, a good start for Pinnacle. 2 seconds in, that's how you want to start a series, Bagels.
Absolutely, you take any goals you can, especially the kickoff ones. Those ones always feel really good. Not necessarily a freebie, but definitely down to a matter of chance on those kickoffs for the most part. Here's a pass to Lux with the pre-flip, trying to get the extension on that, but not quite. As Edwin gonna get this one out in the midfield for now. Dexter into the corner, looking for the double. But that being said, Jaegers, Zap and Dexter both coming from that distortion team, who is one of the top 4 teams in the rival league. So I mean, if you were going to use 2 rival sub ups, these would be the 2 players that I would want to have.
Absolutely, two very good players in the rival. I guess league. I was gonna say division, but I mean even then, playing up a league and one as good as Titan as Sindit almost puts a shot on, no one there to finish it off. But that being said, a stream match and you're subbing up, there's got to be some nerves at that point.
You would think, but a good
Oh,
pass over. As I thought I muted my phone, apparently I did not. I apologize. um, Good pass over to Dexter, and just narrowly beats out Edwin to put that shot away. And now we're tied up, and as I was just mentioning here, Jaegers, Diversion, they're sitting at 3 shots already in basically a minute, and they're not looking terrible, but maybe Pinnacle just coming out a little bit slow at the moment.
maybe so. I mean, Pinnacle might be underestimating them just a little bit, given that they do have 2 sub ups, and that's always dangerous. And especially if those 2 sub ups are actually better. like, I mean, if they're top rival players, they're gonna be good. They're close to the bottom of Titan. If they could play up to that speed, then I mean, they should be fine. Especially if Pinnacle underestimates them.
Yeah. Oh, was Zap trying to get a fake on Deluxe, and Deluxe was the MVP, I believe, last season or perhaps 2 seasons ago. My memory is escaping me, but definitely a solid player in other leagues and in Nemesis past, and rival player almost putting a ball on him. But missed opportunity from Deluxe and Insanity just a moment ago on the offensive side, but Edwin looking to get another opportunity high off the backboard, forcing the triple commit, but still dangerous here for Diversion, as Insanity not able to slot that one in the top left. But as we were just complimenting Diversion, it seems like they're locked down in their offensive half for now, finally breaking out. Insanity not with the greatest touch, and allowed Dexter to try and make do with something out of the corner, but Insanity collecting the corner boost and working their way out for now. Deluxe up early. What is that? But in the midfield still, and send it there. Putting a shot on, but Edwin sending it to the side. Double commit was forced though. Open ball in the middle for Zap. Playing slow with the dribble plays, and Diversion here, Jaegers. They're going for a lot of confident plays here on offense. They're getting a lot of dribble plays off, and they're trying to put Pinnacle on the back foot, and so far, looks like they're being somewhat successful in doing so.
Absolutely. I mean, also with all that pressure Pinnacle has had early on in this game, I mean, Diversion hasn't had to save a single ball. That's just missed shots by Pinnacle. And, I mean, they just need to put their shots on target. And right now, Diversion is playing the better offensive game.
Yeah, and good point there. As Insanity and Deluxe missed 2 opportunities early. I mean, Deluxe didn't even get credit for a shot, so really 3 opportunities that should have made their way in here. As Zap gonna ball out his teammate in Dexter, going for the solo play though. Has his flip, can he find? He's going for the musty, and I ain't never seen Zap do that before. But now a bit of an overcommit here. Gonna go the other way, but go ahead, Jaegers. I apologize. As I believe okay, they just missed an open net.
Yeah, I was going to point back to the fact of we were talking about confidence from the rival players, but I mean, if Zap's pulling off plays like that, going for musties, like, I mean,
Oh my.
the man's popping off, and really, these two rival players are definitely playing up to this Titan League match.
Yeah, Zap, back when I was GM, he used to be on my rival team in Season 3, or Season 4, actually. And, he's definitely, the mechanics have come a long way since then, obviously, because, the confidence is absolutely there. I mean, he seriously looked like Luca or Brandon out there. Did not look like he was struggling to make that read whatsoever. And, in fact, if that block did not come out, I'm pretty sure that musty would have been put on target with quite some speed, but, they have had a lot of offensive pressure, but still only 5 shots, but still to be out shooting a full Titan roster at this point, albeit 5-2. It's going to be inspiring a lot of confidence here in this team as almost some last-second heroics, but we do have overtime here, Jaegers, in the first game. Not what I expected going into this.
Oh, not at all. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, Bagels. I was expecting a sweep, and I was expecting it to not be pretty. But so far, this Diversion team is really showing out, and I mean, that's the first shot Diversion had to save from Pinnacle, and that was in the last second of the game, of regulation. And so let's see if they can pick it up here. Cinda doesn't put one on target, but Zap able to redirect it into the goal. And here's something I didn't think I was going to say tonight: Diversion gotta take game 1.
Yeah, definitely unexpected, the upset of the night, perhaps. Although they haven't won the series yet, but definitely a solid overtime game 1 win right there. But, I mean, it just seemed like there was a lot of double commits being forced on the Pinnacle side, Jaegers, that didn't really need to happen. I mean, there were some somewhat threatening opportunities being put on the Pinnacle net, but I mean, for players like Insanity and Deluxe, I mean, you think they wouldn't be double committing at this point, especially with 2 rival players. But that being said, Zap almost hit a nasty double tap and almost had the musty double, so I mean, he might as well be a low-tier Titan player at this point, the way he's playing.
No, Zap is definitely popping off, and Look, it looks like the two scoring players were the players that are rival, if I'm not mistaken. And I do see that Dexter is a Season 6 Supersonic Legend tournament winner. I know it doesn't mean the same as Supersonic Legend, but I mean, it still means something.
It's definitely a feat. Can't say I've had one since season 2. Hey, so he's on the same level as me. We both got one apiece, unless he has more than one, which obviously in that case he's better than me. But definitely the SSL tourney winners, hard to do. But sometimes you get a free low one every now and then. But who's to say? But that being said, the rival players did show up very well in their performance for game 1. We'll have to see how game 2 turns out in this one. Good save from one of them here by Dexter. And as far as the accuracy is concerned, Pinnacle shooting one shot, and one shot was saved, as I'm not quite sure what Edwin's doing, but able to be bailed out by his teammate. Dexter trying to put one on, but just the Pinnacle defense here, Jaegers, is scrambling in these these first 30 seconds here. And, Insanity, one of my old teammates on Reapers, and definitely some slight chemistry issues on the rotation, but I know he's good friends with Deluxe, so I'm not expecting this level of discomfort. But that being said, he is going to rifle one in on the right side right there.
Well, Bagels, you were talking about chemistry issues, but Deluxe passed off to Insanity, who puts in the back of the net, and that is the first goal they scored besides that kickoff goal to start the series.
Yeah, definitely a good way to bounce back after that game 1 loss, but was a good pass play and definitely a good plot there from Insanity, but one of the players on Diversion was just kind of lofting on the defensive third there, and just kind of got caught out there, but slight mistake. But looking to get one back now, but Deluxe getting a good block off to the side. Zap getting the pinch, looking for the follow. Insanity with a good 50 though, but Edwin has to make a touch, and he will off to the side, going back onto the Diversion half. Dexter passed one, but Insanity again cutting this one off. Demo comes out from Edwin. Insanity looking for the dribble, trying to get the 50 past, but, opening 30 seconds there, Jaegers, was looking a little bit shaky for Pinnacle, but this is looking like a much different team as far as the next minute was concerned.
Absolutely. I mean, Pinnacle just didn't look like themselves in game 1 and the first 30 seconds of game 2. It seems that they have woken up a little bit. I don't know if it was stream nerves. I don't know if maybe they just literally got on before the match. But it seems like they're warming up now, as Sindit is going to 50 Deluxe and he's going to go through him and put it in the back of the net.
I thought surely Deluxe was going to send this one off to the side, and the ball probably bounced about 5 times between the two of them. And even if it did go off to the side, Edwin was just top with his pants down right in the middle of the goal. I think it would have 50'd off him in. But either way, send it. We'll put that one on through for a tie game. He just smothered himself on top of that opportunity. Dexter, he's up early for this, but Insanity loitering on the backboard, waiting for the opportunity, and with the double tap to boot to try and get some offensive pressure back on the side, as Deluxe and Insanity committing for 2 balls twice in a row with each other. And again, they got the pass play off to each other early, but something's going on. I don't know if they're just messing around or what the deal is, but definitely not on the same page on the offensive or the defensive side of things as for now. But definitely they're working these passes towards each other. If Zap was not on the backboard, a double tap surely would have come out right there. And this time, double commit being forced on the Diversion backboard. But again, they're able to work their way out of defense pretty effectively here, as looking like Pinnacle starting to overcommit once again as Zap good for the small ball passing play over. Now Insanity putting one on, the triple commit forced, but still, the defense standing tall here for Diversion here, Jaegers, and I have a feeling that that good pass play was really just a lapse in rotation, because Diversion, they're looking like the better team right now, and I did, like we both thought, I did not think I would be saying that, as Pinnacle was, I guess, to be a top 4 contender in their division, but Nebula stepping up, and, Reapers, and the other team escaping me at the moment, Phoenix is down there at the dumpsters, don't worry about it, but the other 2 teams are definitely being contenders there for Pinnacle, and I'm a little bit worried here, not sure if it's an off day or what the situation is, but heading into playoffs, I'm expecting a lot better from Pinnacle here.
We we still have a few games left until pit playoffs. I believe it's what is it, 3 more weeks, something like that, as Deluxe almost gets one under Sindit, but Sindit makes the read. But that being said, you do expect a roster like the caliber of Pinnacles to be able to play a bit better against two rival sub-ups, as Sindit almost puts on net, but Dexter, a really good goal line stand, keeping the score tied.
Yeah, and Deluxe is trying to get some good passes out. That was a good pass out to Edwin, but not able to quite slot it. But, you know, for the positioning of these two rival subs, they're really not giving that much space for Pinnacle to pull off some solo plays, and still cannot find the accuracy. The shooting plaguing them once again. Diversion putting up a lot of saves here in Game 2. Not necessarily the situation that was Game 1, but either way, we just might have the same scenario on our hands, Jaegers, at 1-1. Might be headed to another overtime here for Game 2, unless this one just might float in. But Edwin will parry it off to the side, as Zap almost able to keep that up in the final seconds. But, you know, oh, hold on. As Dexter getting the flipper set off the kickoff, not doing much with it, but, you know, I won't lie. I'll throw some shade out there. Rockerman said we might have to get an interview here out for a sweep. It is not going to be a sweep. Perhaps it will be a sweep, but on the side of Pinnacle getting swept if they do not win this overtime. And this is quite the performance from Diversion thus far.
Absolutely, but I will say this, Bagels, as much. I want to say how funny it would be that Austin was wrong, because this is I am a GM of this Pinnacle team. I do see this Pinnacle team fighting back, maybe waking up after going down 2-0, but I mean, they need to stop with the double commits, and they need to not let Sindit hit it back post to win an OT, because right now Pinnacle's in sweep position, and it very well might be a sweep, Bagels.
Yeah, and Deluxe Insanity again double committing, this time on the back wall. But I mean, honestly, that is a situation where I don't mind the double commit, because Zap again was looking so confident. I think they thought he had another musty, and perhaps he did, but I think he waited a quarter of a second, a half a second too long there, but ends up getting the 50 out to the middle and send it with the absolute placement on the top left side right there. I mean, you're not saving that. That was just a really good shot, even despite the double commit right there. But either way, Diversion winning 2 overtimes in a row with the same scoreline at 2-1, and Pinnacle find themselves in a reverse sweep scenario. And they played a lot better Game 2. Jaegers putting up 10 shots, outshooting, actually not outshooting, was tied at 10-10 apiece there for game number 2. Played a lot better, but still, they don't look comfortable. And I know it's two rival sub-ups that are playing. Maybe they're peaking right now. Maybe this is just how good they're normally playing lately. But either way, peaking or not, they should be beating this team on paper. But, I mean, with shooting from Send It like that, and, you know, Zap and Dexter stepping up big, this very well could be a sweep in the opposite direction.
Well, you know, Bagels, here's an old sports adage for you. That's why we play the game. Like, nothing is guaranteed in sports, especially not in Rocket League, where the ball can bounce a certain way and could cause you to lose. I know Pinnacle's kicking themselves. They did have an opportunity to end it in regulation game 2, but got bitten by the crossbar monster, and Diversion good enough to capitalize on their misplays and double commits. And Pinnacle just needs to wake up. They still have a very good chance of winning this series, but they just need to get out of their heads, put some shots on target, and not go for double commits, because that's where most of their goals are getting scored on, is double commits. As we see another one there. Edwin gonna get a nice 50, but Zap's going to read it off the backboard.
Yeah, I mean, Zap is just, he's playing so solid. I mean, that's a really tough read right there, and he's able to get back on defense, and he finds it. But, again, yeah, to your point, Jaegers, something about these double commits, I don't know, but they do, in fact, have to figure it out, because they are on the cusp of losing here, as Zap is just on another planet right now with these reads. He's going for the busty doubles, the flip resets, the pre-flip double tap.
Someone check this man's tracker, because he is popping off right now. If you had told me like there was a rival player playing in this game, I couldn't have told you who it is if I didn't know. If the sheets weren't a thing, I wouldn't have been able to find out because Zap is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, I mean, just an absolute stellar play right there. And I was just about to say, I need a solo play from Deluxe, and he's attempting one. I need a double tap or a dribble play out of Insanity. I need Edwin to get a pass, and he does get a pass here, but the shot off target, and again, another opportunity gone right. That could not have been more crystal ball moment ever, saying, I need Edwin to make a pass, and it goes right to the middle. But they weren't able to capitalize on it. But just like, I don't know, it's not even just the fact that they're underperforming. It's just the fact that Diversion are playing so well right now. And, you know, maybe perhaps throughout the rest of the season, they might just want to put Zap on the roster if the rest of Diversion is going to continue to not show up. But, I mean, I think we sound like broken records at this point, Jaegers, but Pinnacle, they just very much analysis here. They need to do something, but Send It will send another one away.
Now, Bagels, I'm not sure if you were in the call whenever I said this, but I did make a joke about predicting Diversion to win. And honestly, right now, I wish I had because I would have looked like a genius. But right now, Pinnacle just, I don't know. They need to open up the field. They need to go for bump plays. They need to go for individual plays. They need to do something because right now, this Diversion defense is standing strong and they're just outplaying Pinnacle right now.
They are, as the fake's coming out, but Send It not able to put it on the backboard to set himself up for a double. But yeah, I mean, they've tried the solo plays. They've even tried a few passing plays, but the inaccuracy there for both times. You mentioned the demos. Haven't really seen any demos coming out from either team here. Edwin got a few demos in the first few games, but haven't seen much bump-heavy pressure coming out thus far in Game 3 for either team. But Dexter gonna put a light shot on his own net, but honestly, that was probably the best move as he ended up balling out one of the Pinnacle offenders right there. Edwin looking to dive on it. Be an annoyance here for Diversion, but still, Diversion keeping their cool here on the defensive side. And Sandy looking to go to the middle, and a defensive demo coming out right there for Zap. With the dribble plays trying to come out, gets it over two, but Deluxe there. Sends it off his own corner, though, and here's Send It. Finds his flip, but it's actually a pass over to Zap, and that was a slot and a half, but Edwin with the pre-jump gonna put it away, and that is a huge save coming out from Pinnacle to keep their hopes alive to try and score here in the final minute.
And I mean, with the 1 minute left, it's looking more and more likely, and you know, it's looking more and more likely we're going to get the sweep we were talking about. Sinde going to save a shot from Deluxe. Deluxe passing mid, and Sandy's taking a shot. Zap saves it. Deluxe
the fake.
up. All three Pinnacle players are near the ball, but Diversion able to get it away and stand strong once again. This is just an insane performance by them.
Absolutely, and they're getting a lot of infield passes, but perhaps one too many infield passes, and this will almost prove deadly, but Zappy's there for the last save, but still dangerous here. Deluxe going for the dribble once again, but Send It wanting no part of that, putting a shot on, and Sandy has to make this save. He does, high off the backboard, and Deluxe going to cut out the opportunity that Zap was trying to get to. But Deluxe to the middle once again. Send It, he's up early. Another shot opportunity, but the bump coming out. Insanity going to be left with the final opportunity, but the boost spawned right as he drove past it, trying to get the pass, and another defensive demo coming out to completely shut down Pinnacle here in this series. Not an offensive blowout by any means. Diversion winning by 1 goal in each game, 2 overtimes, game 1, game 2, but I mean, wow. I mean, Pinnacle was really stepping up on the offense. They had a lot of solo plays, but just, and a lot of passing plays too, but it was either inaccuracy or, I mean, that last save from Zap, and oh my goodness, Jaegers, that might have been the overperformance of the century.
No, yeah, that was insane. That's the only word I have for that. No, I don't know. I just had a feeling going into this matchup that I just like jokingly, I don't know what it was. I was like, okay, Diversion's going to 3-0 Pinnacle. And I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. And so I went against it, against my better judgment. I do the same thing in sports betting, Bagels, and it always makes me lose. Uh, but man, what a performance by Diversion! They really popped off. Zap and I believe it was Dexter really played up. And I mean, good for them. You know, keeping their season alive.
Yeah, I mean that is a huge win, especially over a top contender there in Pinnacle. I mean, just wow. I
Yeah.
mean, there's really not words for it. I mean, that was just a really great performance, and I haven't really kept up too much in tune there with the Diversion squad. I know we mentioned that they were in the top four earlier, but you know, going into playoffs these next few weeks, I'm pretty excited to see Diversion. I want to cast some more Zap action there heading into the rival league playoffs. I mean, heck, that might be the assuming they make it all the way to the grand finals. I can't believe I'm saying this, Jaegers, but might be a grand finals appearance for the KN org.
That would be something. As I believe we are going to get Zap in here. Zap, what a performance, my man. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, honestly. 5 minutes before the game, um, KN added me and Dexter, or like added the distortion, and just yeah, we played and we won.
A great way to say it. I mean,
Yeah,
I know Zap and I believe it was either season 3 or season 4. You were on my rival team, and I mean, definitely at this point, you have come a long way. I mean, you're going for musty flip resets. You're going for double taps. You got the pre-flip double tap go ahead goal in game number 3 right there against the Titan League MVP of season past. And I mean, were you just peaking today? Is this how you normally play, or what's
it,
the deal with Zap?
I don't know. It's just I guess I just kind of play up whenever like I play someone better than me. I just try and find space, and yeah, it's pretty much what I usually do.
All right, good to hear. I mean, and I know this was a Titan League matchup, but I'll talk about your team here for a second. Going on Diversion, I mean, if that's how you and Dexter play in a Titan match, do you guys have? I know playoffs is about 3 weeks, 4 weeks away, but I mean, do you guys have a pretty good chance here going into the playoffs to try and pull off the championship here for Diversion, or
Uh,
excuse me, Distortion?
Definitely, I feel like so Dexter is actually the sub. Me, Sense, and Nickel have been playing for quite a while, and we've just like we have really good chem. I feel like our speed and our like just different adaptations, like with different play styles. I feel like we can definitely pull out the dub.
Definitely a good chance. But Jaegers, did you hear that? The sub,
Yeah.
the sub of subs, and that's how they still played. You got anything more to say for the peaker there?
No, I'm really at a loss of words. I knew Dexter was a rival, but you know, he was a rival sub and they just they looked like a team. They didn't look like they just hopped on 5 minutes before. They looked like they've been playing together. They looked like they had chemistry. And I mean, they could contend in Titan. So I'm very excited to see how Distortion does in playoffs this season.
I'm glad I played Diversion already. I don't want to have to face the Zap sub up right there. Well, Zap, congratulations on your Titan League performance right there. Perhaps a coming
Thank
out
you.
party. And hope you guys have good luck on the rest of your season. And excited to cast some more matches of yours heading into playoffs there.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that was Zap, the rival league sub up there, who performed extremely well here in the sweep of Pinnacle. And Jaegers, that was definitely not at all what we were expecting.
Oh, absolutely not. I don't. You know, Bagels. I don't think anyone was expecting that. Even looking at the survey, I mean, it was weighed heavily in.
77 to 14 or whatever you said.
Yeah, but it's those 14 believers in Diversion that are pumping the air right now because man, oh man, I know Austin's at a loss for words, and I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, well, he might be having a few words for us after we cut away from the stream, but until then, we're safe until then. But I mean, I don't know. Not really much more to say about that. I mean, that was just a really standout performance. I think. Uh, oh, standings. He wants to talk about the standings. All right. Well, let's pull up the standings here really quick for Titan here, Jaegers. That will drop Pinnacle to 7-5, though, I believe. So they will, if Venganza wins tonight, that'll put them at the same record there, and Pinnacle will be between the 7th and the 8th spot there. And if my team, the Grandmasters, wins tonight, there will be a three-way tie at 7-5 there. So we'll have to see how the tiebreakers work out for that. But as per usual, the Spartans able to somehow find a win. I'll have to wait and see how they play when I play against them. But definitely not a team I was expecting to do as well as I thought they were. Check Titan reporting, see if there anything else has come up. Not in fact. Assumingly, the Krakens will get another win and move on to 12-0, looking to go on another undefeated season there, along with Hydra, who is also currently 11-0. And you got any current thoughts about the Titan League here, Jaegers? I know you're a challenger player, but any
Well, I
ideas?
mean, Diversion keeping their season alive now at 4-8, one spot away from the Reapers, who I believe just lost, got swept by the Spartans. And I mean, look, Zap can't play in the playoffs, but he can sure help his team get there if that's what's needed.
Yeah, I mean, not quite sure on the strategy of that, but hey, if that's what it takes to get some more dubs and get up to the 10th seed right there, I mean, hey, more power to them. As Inferno, definitely a roster that is struggling quite a bit, and they're sitting at 4-7. We'll have to see how they do later on tonight. But like you mentioned, Reapers dropping another game, moving on to 5-7, and definitely the 10th spot up for grabs right there between the Reapers, Inferno, Diversion, even the Dragons team, who, again, I mentioned this on some previous casts, that I'm expecting the Dragons to be so much better than they were. I mean, any team with Burr on it, I feel like Burr just has to be a playoff contending team if he's on it. And Dragons just underperforming as well. Phoenix, they're sitting at 2-9. That's kind of like where I'm thinking. No, they don't really have a chance in Godfathers and Gravity at 2-9 and 1-10 respectively. So I'm thinking they're pretty much out of it. It's going to be pretty hard to break into the 10th spot there. But I mean, the 1 through 6 seed here, Jaegers, 11-0, 9-2, 8-3, and three teams at 7-4. Pinnacle was at 7-4, but now it's 7-5, and there's just so much parity here. There could be even more. There could be a four 7-5s, and right now there's three 7-4s.
No, it's very insane, but right now this was my pick to win it all like at the beginning of the season, and the Krakens are just flying high 11-0. That's hard to do in any league, Bagels, let alone the Titan, the top of the top. And is there any team, like, just looking at the bracket, looking at the playoff picture, is there any team do you think that could upset them?
Well, not to toot my own horn, but the Grandmasters did take him to Game 5, and we only lost by one goal there in the final Game 5 there. So it was a close series. I do think they were slightly underperforming. Um, I do think we were slightly underperforming as well, but perhaps we were just playing more well than we normally do. Great analysis, great wording. Um, I think Grandmasters could beat them. I think Blizzard could beat them. I think Spartans can beat them, but that being said, I haven't really seen Spartans play. I think the Krakens are beatable. I think they're just the more consistent team, which is obviously why they're 11-0. Even if you are beatable, if you're just more consistent, you will find yourself with a good record. And Grandmasters, I think we're a good team, but we're not consistent, and that's why we're 6-5. So yes, Jaegers, I do think teams can beat them, but at the same time, I think Luca playoff performance is a completely different animal. I think he'll step up on a completely different playing field once playoffs roll around.
Well, you know what they say, Bagels, about consistency. Consistency is only a virtue if you're not a screw up. And so far, this
Sure.
Krakens team has been playing very well. And what's the next matchup for the night. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it is Snowstorm versus Assassins. Two teams have underperformed so far, but I mean, still plenty of time left in the season for them to make comebacks and potentially make the play-ins.
Yeah, they're only Assassins only 2 games behind there of the 10th spot, and the 8th through 10th spot all at 5 and 6 there for the Challenger League, and Snowstorm they're only 1 game behind that 10th spot. So this is a big game between those two for the Challenger League to try and work their way up to the 10th seed. Um, that being said, definitely some more contention along the way as Orbit and Venom at 5 and 6 and 4 and 7 respectively. So a lot of competition there to try and get that 10th spot, as the Samurai are sitting at 1 and 10, so they are likely out. But anyone from the 7th through the 15th seed in Challenger is really, they're going to have to really play more consistent on the rest of their way through the season, as Snowstorm was a playoff team last season, almost reaching the grand finals there, and definitely a bit of an underperformance in Assassins. I thought they were going to be doing a lot better this season, but again, find themselves at 3 and 8. So we will have that matchup for you guys after the break. But again, a sweep coming out from Diversion with 2 rival sub-ups over Pinnacle, a top contender there in the Titan League. And after the break, we will catch you guys for some Challenger League action in just a few short minutes.
Also, one more thing. Be sure to look at the All-Star ballot. Those drop today. And vote for your favorite players to potentially play in the All-Star game.
Vote for our Lord and Savior, Rockerman, as per usual. He's got to get the 7 All-Star votes. 7 All-Star season selections in a row. But that's enough from us. We'll catch you guys after the break in just a few short minutes.